I bring a lot of greetings from northern Uganda, from Koboko, from Yumbe, from Kitgum, from Kabong, from all over northern Uganda. We are very, very set. We are very set under extremely abnormal circumstances. We are encouraged, Mr. President, by the reading in Psalms 122, Psalms 112, and that Psalms encourages us that you will not be afraid of evil tidings. We are very, very fixed and trusting in the word of the Lord and the promises of the Lord. That's why we do not fear any evil tidings at all. Resolved as we are, we see intimidations. Our offices were broken into, our laptops were taken, our phones were taken, including my own as we were on a campaign trail. They are using every means possible. Even the buying, by the way, up to yesterday, someone was still calling me, please, we need to meet, we need to meet so that we can, that one I told him, please, forget it until after 15th, because we shall now be the one giving you a position. So, the intimidation, the buying, the panic button is still going on. Upon the leaderships, all of us, we see when the buying has failed with some of us, the crossing has failed, there is now malicious propaganda going on. Every day somebody somewhere is searching me to see whether, I have a skeleton that I have not confessed to my bishops and priests. So, the latest one, the first one was that I'm so evil and I've gotten money from NRM so that I can defect. But they have seen I am very steady. The other one now is that I'm calling upon the world and portraying NUP as a violent institution. We are not violent entities. My 2 degrees are on conflict transformation, peace building. How do we sit at table? And that is the official position of NUP. We do not subscribe to any form of violence, whether by act, whether by omission, or so whatever is going on that I am now representing NUP, calling upon everybody to riot, to go violent. That is a naked lie. It is a continued failed propaganda. It has totally failed. I am a very peaceful person. I don't even remember whether I ever fought growing up. So calling and putting those words, and moreover in Uganda, which I don't speak, is a total joke. It's actually a joke. But my call to all of us is come 14th of January, let us go and vote. The most powerful expression is our power under Article 1. Power belongs to us. Let's go and vote. Let us protect our votes. Let us make sure we remain non-violent. And please do not continue to give that malicious propaganda any more prominence, because it is not from NUP. It's not from me. It is not. It is a propaganda. And the next one, I think they will be attaching me naked to somebody, but I don't care. I love my nakedness, It is okay. It's okay. So this one here about the violent call to violence, I condemn it. They are continuing to do whatever it takes to make us dirty, to make us angry, to make us look what they want us to be. We are not. I put it, all of us, we are non-violent. We are too powerful with our power as enshrined under the Constitution. So my call is, do not give that that propaganda, that malicious propaganda, any more prominence. And finally, my heart goes to all of us. When I said people power today, our power was going a bit down. But I totally understand, as a mother, the brutality meted on the children. The latest being here today, I just saw one of our comrades was coming for this press conference. He was knocked, maliciously knocked. His leg is fractured into two. I saw you taking the pictures. The malice is going on. And as we go to 2014, to 2021, on January 14th, they are actually heightening it up. Yesterday I got a call. One of our comrades was actually abducted also from his houses. Many of our candidates are no longer sleeping in their homes. Many of our agents. But please, the Lord, trust in the Lord, the power of the Lord, and focus on Ogwambala Ngule to wear the crown. Those who are defecting as I end, those were first of all, in my view, not even NUP members. They were thinking of today. They were thinking with their stomach. For us, we are thinking and reasoning with our hearts. We are reasoning and thinking and framing and creating a new Uganda with our hearts. And I want to call on all the women of Uganda, everywhere you are. Step up your game in solidarity, because they are killing our children, our husbands, our brothers, So, as women, when we rose in 2006, our voices were heard in Juba peace process. At first, they said, no, you're a bunch of disgruntled widows and so on, like Lina. But when we organized the Women's Peace Caravan, and that's an example of how I subscribe in practice to peaceful resolution of conflicts, we were able to have our representation and voices in Juba and the outcome. So I'm calling on all the women of Uganda, young and old, come together. Let's reason and peacefully deliver Uganda on the 14th of January with our votes. Let's vote massively and let us protect our votes. Do not give any minute to those malicious propaganda. Those who are doing evil by words, by actions, let us leave them where they belong, in the evil world. But we are praying for them for conversion. And I want to end by saying, we are only left with a few days. Together, we shall, and we are going to create and deliver a new Uganda, which is peaceful, which is inclusive, which respects human rights, which respects every human being and every human dignity and every human life and every human part. Thank you very much. I say this for God and my country. Our default, Andro Amemudwa, oh Gabani campaign kissing goni sidika video aze alodimu around kini mabai kyonve pamwa atoto da enzoni okudanzeyo Luganda si lemia wa video da dika ko adoskula road mabele degree ririki asianju iziza peace building in practice, non-violent. I am a disciple of that school of thought. So, aleta di yo mini duworo rimanya bako amaki geda ni raba ziki vini service ngama buswa as mazila kisa za mavile wako hadadi miaruo de aba bindre media tika amavuti amanarifu ariba bibaso joa irini bongo ekari susi ata mangba ba modro ani amogboti January udumudri ni susi amuki voti be amuki voti bera amuki akuako ateke amavele voti da agabi di odekwa ni usidi adini odekwa ko usi iko de odekwa da midwife driko. You do not leave the sight of the baby. So odekwa ndo ngosi amavelera le ameziki oposi le amaki ama agivini orikoko le ama agivini tualo le ama Nikira Madukinda for it debut until the people the war. And here the Tamodu Quince, you do that, Imia Watikako, Imia new video dara, our the four angering, Oritia. In Yumbe as I go to sit, there was a nice music for His Excellency saying we don't want yellow because this yellow which is killing us, this yellow which has brought poverty, with this yellow, ale yellow ko aga yellow si, ale yellow ko aga yellow si, yellow ba odipni aga yellow si, yellow ali tipni aga yellow si, ale Bobi Bobi the din Bifini, Ale Bobi, thank you.
Our default Wangiri, Ale Bobi. Thank you, Papa. Let's invite our Deputy President in charge of Western Uganda, the Honorable Yoweri Kaguta, to speak to us briefly as well. As a mama, you will have to go drive.
People power, NUP, Kyagulanyi, our President 2021. Amen. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy Shaz, you have heard. I'm the Vice President in charge of Western Region, which runs from Chiriandongo up to Kisoro. It is quite a big area. I greetings from the people of that area. I must mention straight that the people of Western Region love Kyagulanyi. You don't even know. There is no way I can explain, because everyone has been thinking that because the current government, the majority of the people come from there, that would have no support. But I want to inform you that beginning from Chiriandongo, in Burisa, in Kagadi, in Kisoro, in Kanungu, down even in Chiruhura, at the doorstep of the current president, everyone loves NUP, everyone loves Kyagulanyi, and I want to assure you that come the 14th, we are going to overwhelmingly support my president, Robert Kyagulanyi. People power. I heart with everyone that is hurting because of the brutality that is happening to us. Of course, the death of our son, the recent death, of course, touches everyone. And I carry condolences from Western Region. And I want to say that even the people out there, even when some of them have not died, they have had a taste of tear gas, they have had a taste of pepper spray, and what is annoying everyone is that we are told that those substances are not for human consumption. They are ordered and expired, and that means that each one of us in Western Region, in addition to these other people in different areas, we are testing poison. We don't know what is going to happen in the next 6, 7, 1 year time. Because we probably will all be dead, I don't know. So we are a little bit scared, but I want to say that despite that, we are standing strong and we are waiting for the D-Day when we are going to vote our candidate into power. Western Region, I'm going to give a brief report, especially with regard to the campaign trail where we were. It was good. It was good. Right from Kisoro, we were very warmly welcomed, and that old saying of Igana Kuigana, 100% of 100% from Kisoro is now coming to us. And when the president was there, they promised us, we had a very huge turn-up, and they promised us 100%. I have already mentioned about Chiruhura. The district of the president, we were warmly received, but of course we were
we were blocked from addressing the people, but people would run after us. Wherever we went, in Kazo, in Uganda, in Kamwenge, and in Toro is overwhelming. Kasese is very, very good, and I expect more than, 92%. Then that part of Toro, there is this district where we went last, where the minister had been swearing that would not be able to address the people. On top of getting so many people, we even slept, in the district, and yet all the people, the authorities didn't want even to step there. In Mbarara, it was very good. It was very good, and I believe that all of you were watching and you saw it. In Isingiro, in Ntungamo, the birthplace of the First Lady, Mama Bobi Kyagulanyi, the turnout was very, very wonderful, and I've been promised that we are also going to get many votes from there. But what I want to mention perhaps here is that just as we have been preparing for canvassing for votes, we need now to gather together and see how to protect our vote. Because even the youngest child, when you talk about, they tell me that, you know what, we are giving your president a vote, but how are you going to keep it from these thieves? And you can imagine even the smallest child knowing that this government is full of thieves. Thieves who don't only steal votes, but who steal land, who have been stealing our money, who have even stolen our identity. Because there are many people in Western Uganda who cannot stand up and talk and say, look here, we want change. And yet they tell me that behind closed doors, they want to give us votes. So we have that challenge, but I want to believe that as we are gathered here, we are going to put our heads together and see how to do it. Otherwise, I thank you so much for the work you are doing. Thank you for the support. Thank you, media. You are the ones that are keeping us alive. When we were in Bushenyi, this pepper spray was sprayed in my car, and it was all over the place before I knew it. So thank you for keeping us alive, because I know that if we don't have you, we would be dead by now. People power. I don't know if I have to say it in Runyankore briefly, but in Runyankore, I'm thanking nimbebaza bwa support imutweire na mnongi mwaba mahurre nyenda kwebaza president kandi kumusasira ahabo kuferwa security we na mtabano witu okiryo mwirwaro kandi munywano wanya wa mahurre nyenda kubahereza report briefly kugira ngo abantu bo mu Western Uganda, all those districts I've mentioned in English, they support Robert Kyagulanyi, and they are going to vote for the umbrella come the 14th next year. Kuyawe kinagambaho no kugira mu challenge y'ikitwine kandi eyinkumanya mutwaza kuhandoringa hati now that we are here nekwatirine no kwerinda abashuma abatwibireho bururu n'abana abatoni bakimanya n'abakekuru bakimanya abatatwibireho bururu bwonka kuyaho n'amataka gaitu n'esente zaitu n'ebintu bitu byona okugaitaho na identity, because abantu abingi they are living in fear. Nibaturo mgoba tebakubasa kugira hibaza nibatina polisi nibatina tiagasi so mbendeza kugira mutwaye rundi naha karurebe kutwabasa kubasa ekintu ekyo rahanga ryo mu bwezi bwitu. Ati nanye naza kweshongoro ekitwire nshongoro mukaru twine Bobi Kyagulanyi twine Robert Kyagulanyi twine Bobi Kyagulanyi twine Bobi Kyagulanyi. Thank you very much.
Honorable Ranga Kutisha abanyambara abanyankore bakiga batoro mbaramuse bagengo bahame. Let me now invite our Deputy President in charge of the region. He will speak English, I guess, with Soga. Honorable Pugwa, na yatu wemuka akapera. Sauli de.
Thank you, Joe, Mr. President, and the colleagues deputies. Comrades in the struggle, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you a mixed bag of greetings from Uganda region. Of course, aware of the tribulations we've gone through with our president during our canvassing of votes in the region. I can fully understand the state in which the NRM and leadership are in as far as Uganda region is concerned. I am here to confirm their fears that Uganda moved and therefore not go back. I don't know whether that makes the situation suicidal, but it will not change anyway. I bring you messages of thanks from the people of Masaka. To all of you, Mr. President, and the rest of the comrades and the media that traveled to Masaka yesterday to send off our comrade and brother, Frank, who was murdered in cold blood. Frank, at 25, had not started his life, but had a dream. That dream was cut short. We can only promise that we shall live to fight for what Frank stood for as long as we live. And in our ranks, many Franks rise to occupy the vacuum that he left. You're also aware that so many districts in Uganda are part of the ban that was imposed by the EC. In Greater Masaka, we could not campaign in Masaka City and Masaka, the district. Chotera is out of reach, and Rakai, including Kalungu. I'd like to invite the country to appreciate the fact that these districts border each other, and the EC has not given us a mark where COVID starts from. So we are stranded. These are very active districts. Between Masaka, the city, and say Kalungu, I mean, one foot is in the city, another foot is in Kalungu, and you cannot go into the other because there's COVID. And these are districts where Mr. Museveni just campaigned and left with foot in the mouth because he never found support. So we understand his sense of defeatedness, but on the behalf of the people of Uganda, I want to assure NUP supporters that we are ready, that whether the president will be stopped from campaigning in those districts, Uganda is right. And I can speak without any fear or contradiction. Lastly, comrades, we are witnessing a wave of abductions and arrests in Uganda being carried out by all manner of outfits. We see the army, military police, the regular police, LDUs, I suspect including witch doctors are involved because it seems everyone is arresting everywhere. But for the record, I would like to invite people in uniform not to go down with the regime because the trajectory of the regime is irreversible. Do not go down with the regime. Let the regime disappear and we continue our lives as Ugandans and reconstruct a new Uganda. Do not be tempted to abduct and harm citizens because you don't want to go down with the regime. After all, you don't know where it is going, but it's going anyway. So please don't allow yourselves to be used to go down and take your reputation down with the regime in the sewer. To the military, please take that invitation. It is humble. We even know you by the way you stand. So do not attempt. We shall know who you are. So better do the right thing and leave the rest for us. Mubufunze basebo ne banyabo njagala okulisaayo President Kyagulanyi jasobodde okutambula ebitundu bya Uganda. Ekimu ku byewuunyo nti akkirizibwa okutuuka mu bitundu ebimu naye takkirizibwa kwogereramu, okuggyako ng'akkiriza okwogera wakati mu tiyagaasi n'amasasi naye nga bayogera nabo bamaze okudduka mu lukande. Ye kampeyini yaffe bwebadde naye gye tuyise yonna okwewaayo kw'abantu b'omu Buganda okuggyako ng'obakubyeko n'ebiri ya bomu bajja kulonda NUP. Era njagala kugumya abo President gy'atatuuse, tujja kusala amagezi abatuukeko. Olaba abantu bayita mu mazzi basobole okutuuka eri President. Ndoza President maye naye amanyi okuwuga n'okudduka amanyi atalifiita ajja batuukako. Mulinde essaawa yonna. Era njagala okutwala omukisa guno okutegeeza abasese nti enkya tuli Butoola. Programu endala nga zimaze okutongozebwa, Ssaabawandiisi waffe ajja kuyisa ekiwandiiko ekitongole mu bitundu bya Buganda ebya gye tugenda okutuuka. Njagala kwebaza bonna abalina kye bakoze, naddala abatulekedde ejjo nga tuwerekera omwana waffe Frank eyatemulwa. Njagala okutegeeza bana NUP ne bannayuganda mwenna abalwanirira enkyukakyuka nti okufa kujja kubaawo naye n'okununulwa tekugenda kulemerera, tujja kutuukako. Njagala kusembayo nga mpa amagezi abakuumaddembe. Ennaku zino mu bitundu bya Buganda bingi pandagaali yaddamu. Pandagaali ayogerwako ku mulembe gwa Kijambiya, ono tunamuyita ki, embeera eyakyamututte bukya yakomyewo. Bakwata abavubuka bangi nnyo, abamu bakwatibwa ne basabibwa ensimbi bateebwe. Oba yeno embeera y'obutasasula abasirikale ensimbi zibagasa nga basazeewo bakozese bye balina bafune ekyokulya. Twagala okubawa amagezi bannaffe abali mu uniform, temukkiriza kugenda na gavumenti egenda, musigale mu uniform okulonda Abaganda. Kyenekakasa ne bwe mukola emisana n'ekiro temulina busobozi bugiremesa kuvaawo era ejja kuvaawo, ejja kugenda. So temukkiriza kugenda nayo gyeraga kuba temumanyiiyo. So temukkiriza kuyingira gye mutamanyi. Muleke abakulu abawulira nti balina obuyinza batambule olugendo lwabwe batuukire embe gye balaga. Musigale mu Bannayuganda mukole omulimu gw'abambaza uniform. Mwayambala uniform kuma Bannayuganda okukwata abantu kugenda mu maaso ne basibibwa mu bifo eby'enjawulo nga tewali ategeddeko. Poliisi ne yeegaana, amagye ne geegaana, simanyi babakwata oba basawo ba kinnansi oba bantu ba kikaaki. N'olwekyo tubasaba abali mu uniform ku lwa Bannayuganda okutyobula eddembe lya Bannayuganda mukuviireko ddala, muli mukuteekebwako olukungo kubanga mmwe nga Ssekinnoomu mujja kuteekebwako omusango gw'okubuzaawo abantu oba okutta abantu. Mwebalire ddala. Abalumba ofiisi zaffe baagenda n'ebyuma byange saasobola kulikodinga akayimba kubayimbira mu banna.
Sebo tujja kukola fundraising tugulire ebyuma one of these days. Akayimba kaffe kave. Okay. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on 14th of January, Ugandans are going to elect a new president. And I'm glad that the incoming president is here with us. Your Excellency, Kyagulanyi Robert, please come and address us.
Thank you very much, Comrade Joel. Thank you very much for the strong messages, our dear Deputy Presidents. And in a special way, I want to salute our female Deputy Presidents for having that extra touch, the musical touch. You see, they say being extraordinary does not take so much, it only takes that extra. So I salute you. Fellow Ugandans here with us today, and those watching us from afar, I salute you and I thank you for standing strong amidst all these challenges. It has not been a very easy year, but the Almighty Lord has been with us, and I'm sure God is going to continue being with us, making us overcome all the challenges. Friends, you all have witnessed the brutality that we as a nation have been going through, not only the National Unity Platform, but all the people of Uganda. But for us as a National Unity Platform and People Power, as you know, ever since we announced to politically challenge General Museveni for the presidency, there's been untold brutality. We have seen murders of innocent Ugandans, from the days of murdering Yasin Kauma, Rita, Danny Cheyune, Mutiabule, and even recently when more than 100 Ugandans were murdered in cold blood by the police and the military, and other gun-wielding individuals that are not in any uniform, not police, not the military. We've seen abductions. Many of our colleagues are still missing, the likes of John Bosco Chibalama and others that did not get the opportunity to be known. We've seen arrests. Many of our colleagues are in prisons and other illegal incarcerations. We pray for them. We stand in solidarity with them. Many of our colleagues are in hospital, nursing wounds of police and military brutality. I want to send my condolences to the families of the many Ugandans that have been murdered by the state. Some years ago, the NRM Secretary General, Honorable Kasule Lumumba, said it in a mouth that the state will kill your children. The state has not stopped killing your children. The state continues to kill our children, continues to kill our mothers, our fathers, innocent citizens of Uganda. We condemn that in the strongest terms, and we assure them that we shall not relent, we shall not give up, we shall fight until we are free. I also want to reiterate it, that there has been a constant target on my life as an individual and on the lives of the people in my close working circle. As you all have noticed, there was a journalist that was covering events that are happening around me that was targeted and shot in close range with a rubber bullet, the one Moses Bwayo. We thank God that his life was not lost. The police targeted my close working comrade and music producer, Dan Magic. They shot him with a tear gas canister in close range and shattered his face. We thank God that doctors did all that is possible to recover what they could recover. And we thank God that Dan Magic is alive and with us today. Shameful and with no consideration, even with their fellow men and women in uniform, they attacked the head of my security team, a police officer called Afande Kato, who was attached to our team for security by the Electoral Commission, and you all know what they did to his eye. A few days later, still in what I believe was a target on my life, they instead got my close working ally and music partner, Nubian Lee, and hit him on the head. Now yesterday, in what I still strongly believe was a target on my life, they shot at a journalist called Kasirye Ashraf. Yesterday but one, sorry. They shot Kasirye Ashraf, and I'll shortly be giving you the details on him. Ladies and gentlemen, I must also mention that this regime is so scared, it is so panicky, that it comes and attacks every effort that relays what happens within the population. They are now targeting journalists. You all saw how an NTV journalist called Ali Mivule was beaten, and the police officer targeted him and actually, before shot at him, said collateral damage and fired at him. Another journalist called Lutaya, we left him in hospital. All they fear are the cameras. So friends, now that we know what this regime fears most, it fears the truth. Please continue exposing this regime. Journalism is not a crime. We stand in solidarity with you, the journalists, and we thank you for also being firm, not taking that nonsense. I know that you walked out on a disrespectful communication from the police and the military. And even when we become government, please never take any humiliation as journalists. You are supposed to be respected. And I also, on the same note, want to encourage all our friends, all the freelance journalists, all the social journalists, all the people that carry cameras. First of all, I salute you. You are the biggest reason why we have kept alive. You are the only people, you are the only thing that the regime fears. The regime fears cameras because they know this is a different generation where they cannot control the media, where they cannot control the narrative. You are the people that relay the truth raw in its natural form. So please don't stop. Keep the cameras rolling. Keep live. I also want to condemn, ladies and gentlemen, the lies from the police and the lies from the military. You also saw the police spokesperson who has become a shame to the world, one Fred Enanga, coming out to lie with impunity, to lie about the attack on journalists, the same way he has been lying to the world about every single thing. The police spokesperson and indeed the Uganda police force should be ashamed of itself. Your duty is to protect and serve Ugandans, not to murder them and lie about their death. Also, shameful enough, the spokesperson of UPDF came out to lie about the death of Frank. They killed Frank. They knocked him. And as if that was not enough, they reversed and finished him. They did that. They yesterday came out to lie that Frank fell off a truck. I challenge them to bring the CCTV footage. I know they will not. After they murdered Rita Nabukenya, they said they would provide the footage of the CCTV camera. Later on, they said the camera was not working at that time. I am very sure they're going to come out with uneven more desperate lie, but the world is watching. People were there. And I know that the same way that the death of a great man that we have painted on our wall right there, John Ndum, who was killed in the Amin times, and the regime lied about his death. But the truth can be delayed, but it will never be buried forever. One day, the truth will be for everyone to see. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to dwell a little more about the facts of Frank's death. Frank was knocked by a military police patrol car deliberately. They knocked him, they ran over him, they reversed and finished him. Yesterday, at his funeral, we showed all of you the X-ray of the extent of the damage on his skull and the neck. They broke his skull in pieces. Frank could not survive, and Frank died. But painfully enough, one of our comrades who worked on the security team with Frank came out of the car to come try save Frank. His name is Kawoya, also known as Puff. The military police descended on him and beat him mercilessly, also fracturing his skull, and is in critical condition today. All of you saw the footage. You saw the video of the military police descending on that young 23-year-old boy, beating him, clobbering him with gun butts and batons as if he was a criminal. Shame on those brutes. Just this morning, ladies and gentlemen, just this morning, an unknown car, which we suspect was also a regime car, knocked another member of our security team, Ashraf, and he has been rushed to hospital. They blocked all the roads accessing our office, but again, they left that space for them to carry out all their criminality. But we know that one day there will be an hour of reckoning. We know that. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, give you a little update on our brother Ashraf Kasirye. Ashraf Kasirye, all of you that have been watching Ghetto TV before it was hacked, and all of you that have been following and continue to follow Ghetto Media, that soft-spoken voice, the young man that was always inches besides me, that young man is called Ashraf Saif Kasirye, a journalist with Radio 1, but also a cameraman and a journalist with Ghetto Media and Ghetto TV. Since the beginning of the campaigns, we've been moving with him. He has covered all the police brutality. He has covered all the shootings. He covered the shootings in Jinja, where there was an attempt on my life, when the military shot bullets into our car and one shot went through the windscreen. And even hours before he was shot on the head, he covered a one Mafundo Mutera, the OC station of Chotera, and the military shooting at our car. I shared that video clip on my social media. Ashraf was shot close range on the head, on the forehead. The object with which he was shot shattered his skull. Part of his skull got severely broken. Many pieces of his skull bone fell out, and as you saw on the pictures, that white stuff were bits of his skull bone. And the doctors informed us that A few parts of the skull bone fell into the brain. His brain was open and some blood flowed into his brain. We are thankful to the Almighty God that Ashraf survived death, is still alive. We were able to rush him to Rubaga Hospital. Doctors are doing everything that they can to save his life. You went through a successful operation. The blood that fell into his brain was removed and his brain was covered. However, he's unable to open his eyes. He's unable to speak. Doctors have informed us that for him to be able to open his eyes and open his mouth will take between 1 and 2 weeks. And by the grace of God, doctors have also informed us that for him to be able to see a person and recognize him or her, or to be able to speak something that he understands, might take a month or 2. We request all of you friends of Uganda to keep Ashraf Kasirye in your prayers. He was an innocent man. He was just a journalist doing his job. He was not a criminal, and we condemn the attack on Ashraf and all other journalists. We know that our other brothers and sisters from the journalism fraternity, Mivule and Ultaya, we pray for you, brothers and sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, in a very special way, allow me to appreciate the artists, the celebrities from the entertainment fraternity. Honestly, friends, I have always been that the artists whose voices are so powerful, whose success entirely relies on the common people, on the people of Uganda, their voice has been silent in the face of untold brutality, in the untold state murder. But I was very glad to see that many of them came out to condemn the police brutality, because it is wrong, no matter which political party, no matter which political persuasion you are. Brutality is wrong. Murder at the hands of the state is wrong. So I thank you, fellow artists, for coming out, and please continue speaking up for your fans, because you are the voices. Your voices are not only for entertainment. Your voices are supposed to be voices of reason. Your voices are supposed to be voices of the voiceless. I salute you and encourage you to continue speaking out. Don't only speak out when Nigerians are brutalized. Don't only speak out when foreigners are brutalized. Speak out for your people as well. They depend on you, they rely on you, they need you just as much as you need them. Thank you, fellow artists. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having saluted the fellow artists, allow me also to thank the people that are helping us with the struggle, but in a very special way. Ladies and gentlemen, the treatment of these colleagues has been and continues to be very expensive. In particular, the treatment of Ashraf Kasirye. It has been extremely expensive, so I want to thank the friends, the fellow Ugandans that have contributed to the treatment of Ashraf, those in the diaspora and those here in Uganda. Thank you very much. We wouldn't have been able to do this, but you have constantly stood with us, and of course those that contributed to the funeral arrangements of our brother Frank. Thank you very much for that heart. Let us continue doing what we are doing. Now, about the way forward. Of course, we all know that the regime is doing this to cut our speed. They're doing this to demoralize us. They're doing this to to break our resolve, but I can assure you, Museveni and your cronies, tetugenda kupowa. We are not going to give up. We are going to liberate this country. We are going to be free, or we shall die trying to be free. We shall not give up. All this that you're doing to us is only giving us more reason to fight on. Before the brutal murder of Frank, maybe one would have given up. But now, what do you think we can pay for Frank's life other than accomplishing his mission? So do what you are doing. Torture as many people as you can torture before we kick you the hell out. So ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to give up. We paused today because we had to address the nation, because we had to give this communication. But tomorrow, we are resuming. And like we've told the people of Uganda, we are coming to you in whatever form. We are coming to you. We are coming to you scientifically, we are coming to you technologically, and yes, we are coming to you physically. The people of Kalangala, we are coming to you tomorrow. The people of Bukoma, Simbi and Piji, we are coming to you the day after tomorrow. The people of the eastern, where we've not reached yet, in parts where we've not reached yet, and yes, the people of Uganda, where Museveni fears, where he's trying so hard to make sure we don't reach, we are coming to you. After using the Electoral Commission to block us from addressing the people of Mukono, the last time we were in Mukono, they tear gassed us. But after using the Electoral Commission to ban our campaigns in all these areas, yesterday I saw Museveni and I said, what kind of coward is this? What kind of hypocrite is this? What kind of hypocrite is the leadership of the Electoral Commission? But either way, we are coming to you. After all, they did not ban Zimbabwe. They did not ban Rushere. They did not ban Rwengo. They did not ban Kazo. They did not ban Mukono. But when we were in Mukono, they tear-gassed us, they blocked us from addressing the people there. We did not address the people of Zimbabwe because when we reached there, the military, having paraded many young men and women in yellow t-shirts, when they saw us, they immediately came to us. The military unleashed brutality. They had to beat people in Zimbabwe. They blocked us from addressing them. They had to beat people in Rushere, those young men and women who could not take the lies anymore. Rwengo was not banned by Electoral Commission when they blocked us from addressing those people. Kazo was not banned. So, banned or not banned, we are coming to those people and we shall talk to them. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, now before I give my final communication, I also want to condemn the brutal attack on my fellow presidential candidate, the Honorable Patrick Oboy Amuriat. You also, when the same criminal in police uniform, in the names of Asim Abraham, also known as Bravo, attacked him and pepper sprayed him. We know he's in hospital, and Honorable Power, we stand in solidarity with you. We also want to condemn in the strongest terms the brutal arrest of a renowned human rights lawyer, Nicholas Opio, and our human rights team with 3 lawyers. They were brutally arrested by a panic regime. We join the world to demand for their unconditional release and for the respect of their rights. Now our message to the people of Uganda has been and continues to be that we shall come to you. It doesn't matter how biased the Electoral Commission is. It doesn't matter how many times they block us from coming there. We shall reach you and the message will get to you. In all ways, at least we know when they block the door, we go through the window, we do it in a Robert style. We will get you. Now finally, I want to add my voice to the voice of the Deputy President in charge of the Buganda region, that we condemn the ongoing kidnaps of the people of Uganda by the military, by the police, and other unknown people wielding guns in plain clothes. We've seen videos going around, and many other abductions have not been filmed. But we want to bring it to the attention of the world and to the attention of the international community. Please don't let the people of Uganda suffer in the darkness. We are part of the human family. We subscribe to the same protocols. We subscribe to the same values. We were also part of the Declaration of Human Rights. Please don't let the dictatorship of Museveni think that he is a demigod here. I've been calling upon you, and we continue to call upon you to make the observation of the rule of law and respect for human rights a precondition to cooperation with Uganda. Don't continue being seen as partners in crime with a brutal dictatorship led by General Museveni. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Katika mbide mu Uganda. Aba sebo ne banyabo mwenna bannayuganda bannaffe abatulaba abali naffe wano leero n'abo abatulaba ku mikutu egy'enjawulo bitundu bya Uganda eby'enjawulo n'ebunaayira. Mbalamusaako n'embebaza n'omutima ogutaggwaamu maanyi wakati mu kunyigirizibwa, wakati mu kusoomoozebwa, wakati mu bizibu bye tuyitamu ng'eggwanga. Tunyolwa wamu n'abo abanyolwa, tukubagiza bannaffe famire za mikwano gyaffe egitemuddwa, nga batemulwa abo abalina okubakuuma, nga batemulwa abapoliisi abali mu uniform, nga batemulwa abasirikale abali mu uniform, nga batemulwa emisana tuku ng'ensi eraba. Kyannaku nti emirembe egyo Mwami Museveni gy'abadde agamba nti yalwanyisa okugyawo, ate akola ebikolobero ebisinga, akola ebive ebisinga ne ku byabo bagamba nti byalwanyisa. Kyannaku nnyo, naye era tumanyi nti bannakyemalira bonna bonna bwe batyo buyisa nga babuzaayo akaseera katono okugenda. Basebo ne banyabo, munajjukira nti okuva lwe twalangirira nga National Unity Platform nga People Power okuvuganya ku kifo ky'omukulembeze w'eggwanga, ate nga tekimenya mateeka, tuze tulaba okunyigirizibwa, okutulugunyizibwa, ettemu erisusse. Mwasooka ne mulaba poliisi n'amagye nga batta abantu ekyeyonoonere, babatomeza emmotoka ezigulwa ssente z'omusolo, bakubwa amasasi, kuba Rita, kuba Dani Kyeyune, Bamutyabule, Bakimu Sekama n'abalala bangi. Era munajjukira nti kabanga katono, mwezi nga gumu n'ekitundu oguyise, poliisi n'amagye n'abakwatamundu abalala abatali mu uniform baatirimbula Abannayuganda mu mwezi gwa Novemba, omwezi oguyise. Batta Bannayuganda abasukka mu 100 nga babatta ku biragiro bya Mwami Museveni. Tebakomyawo, bazze batemula Abannayuganda, ng'abalala babakwata ne bababuzaawo, abalala bali mu malwaliro, abalala bali mu makomera. olunaku lw'eggulu twazise muganda waffe Frank Kalibala twamuzise Masaka oluvannyuma lw'okutomerwa emmotoka ey'amagye. Twongera okutuusa okusaasira kwaffe eri famire ye n'okuyimirira awamu n'abo bannaffe abali mu makomera n'abali mu malwaliro. Njagala n'okikakatiriza nti mu ngeri ey'enjawulo poliisi n'amagye n'ebitongole ebikuumaddembe bibadde biruubirirwa kutemula nze ebiseera ebisinga obungi, kubanga abantu bonna abambadde ku lusegere bentambula nabo mu mmotoka emu bazze batagetingibwa. Ng'ogyeko okusindirira emmotoka gy'otambuliramu amasasi omulundi ogutali gumu, emirundi egitali ebiri, emirundi egitannako makumi 3. Bagenda ne batagetinga munnamawulire yali akwata ebifaananyi okutwetoloola, ne bamukuba rubber bullet ku close range nga bamulinaanye. Bwe baava ku oyo badda ku producer waffe gwe bayita Dan Magic gwe ntambula naye mu motoka emu era atuyambako mirimu egy'enjawulo mu kampeni yaffe. Oyo bamukuba teargas canister gye nsuubira nti baali batagetinga nze, ne bamwasaamu face, naye Katonda w'amaanyi nti akyali mulamu era agenda maaso n'okuwona. Mujjukira nti n'omusirikale yatuweebwa okunkuuma gwe bayita Afande Katonga yali akulira security team eyo, naye bamukuba eriiso mwalaba ekyamutuukako. Tewaayita nnaku 2 muganda wange gwe tukola naye era gwe tuyimba naye Nubianly naye bamutagetinga ne bamukuba omutwe. Kaakati olunaku lw'okosa eggulo nga tuli mu kitundu kye bayita Kyabakuza, nga tuli mu kkubo tutambula, bakikoze kagenderere nga ndi ebbanga eritaweza inches 10 okuva ku Ashraf Kasirye. Bamukubye ku mutwe ne bamwasa omutwe ne bamubetenta n'akawanga. Muna kijjukira nti bano abantu babadde baluubirira nnyo bannamawulire, kuba ku lunaku lw'okosa eggulo Ashraf Kasirye yekka si gwe bakubye, ne munnamawulire gwe bayita Ali Mivule ne munnamawulire omulala gwe bayita Lutaaya nabo bakubiddwa era baddusiddwa mu malwaliro nga bapookya. Ate nga abakubi bannamawulire abo babadde babamanyi, era omusirikale oyo gwe twategeddeko erinnya erya Abeine Enoch yasoose kutunuulira ku close range oyo munnamawulire n'amugamba collateral damage n'amukuba. So eyo yengeri bano abantu gye bayisaamu bannayuganda. Twagala okuyozaayoza bannamawulire olw'okuyimirira ku magulu gammwe ne mugamba ekimala tekimala, ne mulwanira eddembe lyammwe era ne mugaana okuwuddiisibwa. Era tusaba ne bannayuganda abali eyo mu profession ez'enjawulo muleme kukkiriza kuwuddiisibwa. Mulina okulwanira eddembe lyammwe musobole okukola omulimu gwammwe nga guweebwa ekitiibwa, tekimenya amateeka omuntu okulwanirira eddembe lye ery'obwebange. Muzze mulaba abaganda bange nti bano abantu batya kamera, era mu mbeera y'emu njagala nnyo okusaba wakati mu kwebaza abo abalala ba freelance journalists ababeera ku Facebook live, ababeera ku YouTube live, abakozesa essimu zaabwe okukwata n'okulaga ebifaananyi ebyebyo ebiba bigenda mu maaso. Mulabye nti gavumenti ya Uganda etya nnyo ensi yonna okumanya ettemu lyekola ku batuuze baayo. Ensonga lwaki bagenda ku Facebook ne mu Google ogezaako okuyimiriza akawunti zammwe, era muze mulaba nga bawakinga akawunti zammwe kubanga batya nnyo kye mukola. Kale nno engeri gye mulabye nti babatya nnyo temukendeeza, nammwe temuzikiza, mugende mu maaso nga mubatunuzaamu kamera. Ze nga nkibagamba nti ekyokulwanyisa kye tulina ng'omugigi guno ye kamera. Buli woolabisa abatemu abo lazima nabo baba bakimanyi, kuba bamanyi bannakyemalira bonna bwe bamaliriza. Baganda bange muzikirize n'okuvumirira obulimba obw'abogezi ba poliisi n'amagye oluvannyuma lw'okutemula bannayuganda batalina musango. Mwami Enanga mwamuwulidde ng'avaayo ng'agamba tamanyi baani bakubye bannamawulire, n'omwogezi wa poliisi ow'amagye naye ng'avaayo ng'agamba nti Franka yabuuse bubuusi ku motoka n'agwa. Olunaku lwajjo nga tuzika Franka n'abalaze report eyavudde mu ddwaliro ne balaga x-ray engeri gye balinye Franka baamutomedde ne bamuyitako ne bakomawo ne bamubetenta omutwe era mwalabye ebifaananyi bya x-ray nga baamwasiza yesiza yina akawanga. So njagala obasoomooza mu aboogezi ba poliisi n'aboogezi b'amagye mu buswavu bwammwe muggyeeyo footage wa CCTV camera alaga nti Franka si mwe mwamusse. Manyi temujja mujjayo nga bwe mwalimba nga mumaze okutemula Rita ne mugamba mugenda kujjayo footage ebifaananyi ebyo ne balema okujjayo. Era manyi timulowooza bannayuganda bagenda byerabira naye bannayuganda tebeerabira kuba buli kimu kiri ku record. Emirembe egiri babitugamba nga bugambe nga tuli baana bato naye kati biri ku kamera buli omu n'atamanyi kusoma ajja biraba n'amaaso ge. Bannaye munzikirize mbawe update ku mbeera ya muganda waffe Ashraf Kasirye. Ashraf Kasirye yaddusibwa mu ddwaliro Katonda yasaasira tumutuusa mu ddwaliro ng'akyali mulamu. Abasawo oluvannyuma lw'okumulongoosa batutegeezezza nti Ashraf ddala kitwalaba kyali kituufu kye baamukuba kyamubetenta akawanga obwongo bwe ne bufuluma. Amagumba g'akawanga gamu ne gagwa eweeru ate amalala ne gagwa munda n'omusaayi ne gumuyiika mu bwongo. Naye twebaza Katonda nti abasawo baafubye okukola kye basobola okumunaazaamu omusaayi gwabadde guyise mu bwongo n'okugyayo amagumba agabadde gaguddeyo. Ashraf akyali mulamu. Abasawo bakola kyonna ekisoboka okutaasa obulamu bwe. Ashraf tasobola kugulawo maaso ge, tasobola nakwogera naye ng'ebitundu eby'omubiri ebisigadde byo biramu n'engalo zeenyeenya n'amagulu gamuvinga. Abasawo batutegeezezza nti obuvune bwamutuuseeko obwabadde bw'amaanyi, ali mu mbeera mbi, naye batutegeezezza Katonda bw'akkiriza Ashraf ajja kuba asobola okugulawo amaaso ge mu kiseera wakati wa wiiki emu oba wiiki bbiri ajja kuba asobola okugulawo amaaso ge, ajja kuba asobola n'okwasama ayogere. Neera batutegeeza nti ne bw'anaaba asobola okwogera oba okutunula ajja kuba tasobola kutegeera abantu baalaba oba okutegeera byayogera. Naye ne batutegeeza okusobola okutegeera omuntu gw'atunuulidde oba okutegeera byayogera kiyinza otutwalira ng'omwezi gumu, wakati w'omwezi gumu n'emyezi ebiri. Naye batugumizza nti Ashraf Katonda abanakkiriza ajja kuba bulungi, ajja komawo mikono gyaffe, mukwano gwaffe oyo. Njagala obasaba mugende maaso n'okusabira Ashraf naye n'okubasaba n'okubeebaza mwenna abavuddeyo ne mutudduukirira mu kujjanjaba Ashraf. Treatment ya Ashraf ebadde ya bbeeyi nnyo era egenda maaso okubeera ey'ebbeeyi. Bannaffe bangi nnyo be baayisiza obubi nga Kapaafu gwe bakubye naye ne bamwasa akawanga, tebali bubi nnyo nga Ashraf. Ashraf embeera ye ebadde enzibu n'obujjanjabi bwe bwa bbeeyi nnyo. Naye njagala okwebaza mwenna abasonze ssente okuyamba Ashraf. Tetufunye buzibu mu kumusasulira eddwaliro. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala. Bannayuganda bali wano n'abali emitala w'amayanja. Njagala okwebaza mwenna abatuyambye mu kuwerekera muganda waffe, okumuziika mu kitiibwa n'okuddukirira famire ye muganda waffe Franka. Mukama abawe nnyo, abaddizeewo mwenna. Bannaye munzikirize mu mbeera y'emu neebaze bayimbi bannange, neebaze ba celebrities, neebaze ne ba public figure. Okumala ebbanga ddene nze ng'omuntu kibadde kinnumira muli naye nga nkisirikira. Naye mmanyi nga kiruma nammwe bannayuganda okulaba nti bannabitone bannaffe bwewaawo bangi nnyo badde bavaayo ne bositula amaloboozi gaabwe ku lwa bannayuganda. Naye kibadde tekinabeera nga bwe kyabadde banaye mwebale nnyo bannabitone, mwebale nnyo ba artist, mwebale nnyo ba sports people, mwebale nnyo ba celebrities, mwebale nnyo bannayuganda mwenna, naddala mu abamanyiddwa ennyo, abamanyiddwa abantu abangi abalina amaloboozi amanene. Mwebale nnyo kuvaayo ne musitula eddoboozi lyammwe okwogera amazima oba toli mu byabufuzi, okwogera nti munnayuganda temutta oba toli mu byabufuzi. Naawe omuyimbi, naawe omuzanyi wa katemba, naawe artist, naawe poet, oli munnansi era poliisi erina kukuma kyekimu. So mwebale nnyo kuvumirira obutemu obukolebwa ku bannayuganda, nga bukolebwa gavumenti, nga bukolebwa ebitongole ebirina okubeera nga biyitibwa bikuuma ddembe so si bisaanyaawo ddembe. Mwebale nnyo era njagala obbasaba bannange temusirika. Bano abantu tebalina amaloboozi gaabwe baagawammwe, mugakozese okubalwanirira era mujja kulaba nabo nga bwe bayimirira okulwammwe. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Kakati bangi mumanyi nti bino gavumenti ya Mwami Museveni ebikola kutumala mu maanyi, kutunafuya, kulaba ng'etusala sipiidi, kulaba ng'etujja ku mulamwa. Njagala okukakasa Mwami Museveni nti tetugenda kuzikiza. Njagala okutegeeza mwenna bannayuganda nti tetugenda kugwa mu maanyi era mbasaba temugwamu maanyi kuba kye tuliko si kikyamu. Mu maaso g'amateeka tuli batuufu. Mu maaso g'abannayuganda kye tukola kituufu. Mu maaso ga Katonda tuli batuufu. Kyova olaba Katonda tuyambe. So tetugenda kuzikiza. Era njagala kuyima wano nangirire nti olunaku lw'enkya tugenda Kalangala. Abantu b'e Kalangala mutulinde, tujja tubakubemu kampeyini, tubatuuseko enjiri eyo era tubasabe akalulu kemanyi obulungi timujja katuwa. Abantu b'Empigi, abantu b'e Bukomansimbi n'ebitundu ebirala byonna tujja mutulinde. Tumanyi bulungi nnyo nti akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ne Mwami Byabakama nga bakolera ku biragiro bya Museveni. Oluvannyuma lw'okuva e Masaka, oluvannyuma lw'okuva e Kampala, yabalagidde ne basazaamu campaigns kubanga batya. Mwami Museveni oluvannyuma lw'omukuba akavulu ewuwe yennyini e Lushere, oluvannyuma lw'okumulaga nti talina buwagizi ekiruhura, baswadde nnyo ate baatidde nnyo ne bagamba nti kati abantu beetaaga bakuba miggo obbalemesa okujja okutuwagira gye baadde basuubira nti gye balina obuwagizi. Kinaabeera kitya nga tuyingidde wano? Ensonga lwaki ebitundu ebisinga naddala gye tusinga obuwagizi basazaamu kampeyini. Ate mwattu kya buswavu nti olwamaze okusazaamu kampeyini olunaku lw'eggulo n'alabye Mwami Museveni ng'ali mukono ng'akuumibwa poliisi n'amagye ng'abantu be bawa t-shirt ne bawa ssente bali ku nguudo bamulinze. Ne neewuunya obunnanfuusi bw'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda, ne neewuunya obunnanfuusi bwa Mwami Museveni. Naye mmanyi nti akakiiko k'ebyokulonda tekagenda kubaako kikoogera. I know the Electoral Commission is going to be conspicuously silent. That is how they have been. Clearly, they are not in charge of this election. Si batambuza bino ebyokulonda. Naye njagala obategeeza mwenna nti Erwengo akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kabadde tekaweze kampeyini. Ne poliisi nekozesa eryanyi erisukiridde netulemesa okugendayo. Esembabule akakiiko kaali tekaweze kampeyini. Naye amagye ga SFC oluvannyuma lw'okukuŋŋaanya abavubuka ne babawa t-shirt za yere za Museveni nga baagala balage nti tetulina buwagizi. Mwana wattu ate bwe twatuuka nabo amasannyalaze ne gabalinnya nabo ne bawagiramu ffe. Mwena mwabiraba amagye ga SFC agakulemberwa mutabani gwa Museveni ne gaswala ne gaddamu kuba abantu bennyini be bawadde t-shirt zaabwe ate nga babakuba kibooko kubanga nabo bawanika kigonde bawagira ffe. Emukono bwe twagenda okwogera n'abantu akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kaali tekaweze kampeyini. Naye mwalaba poliisi n'amagye bwe bakuba abantu ne bakuba tyagasoona ne bademesa okwogera nabo. Erushere ne Kazo baali tebaweze kampeyini naye batulemesa okwogera n'abantu. So oba baweze kampeyini oba tebaziweze ffe tujja basalako. tujja batuukako mu ngeri yonna, oba batuuseeko scientifically oba technologically oba physically, tujja batuukako kye mubamanya, tujja batuukako mu style gye bayita Robert style, tujja batuukako. Bano tebasobola, bano generation gye badiringa nayo ndala nnyo 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 nnyo, so tujja batuukako mikwano gyaffe. Obubaka bwe njagala okuweereza bannayuganda, njagala bagamba mubeere bagumu, mwebereremu, buli omu asitukiremu, buli omu gyali. Tumanyi Mwami Museveni kyateekateeka okola, takyalina kyalimba bannayuganda, kati akozesa lyanyi, ate nga ne lyanyi terijja mutaasa, kuba bannakyemalira bonna bonna bakoze nga ye, nga bali ku mugo ogw'okugenda. Njagala okuvumirira ennyo obulumbaganyi obwakoleddwa ku kandidate munnaffe wa FDC Honorable Patrick Omuriato Boy, omutujuyo omu ayambala uniform ya police gwe bayita Asimwe Abraham, abangi gwe bayita Bravo, yamufuuyidde ebiragalalagala mu maaso era kati ali mu ddwaliro. Tuyimiridde naawe muganda waffe era tusaba Mukama akusuuse bulungi, newankubadde tugenda kuwangula naye naawe tukusaasira munnaffe era tukwagala. Twaliro tukuli mu lutalo, fena twesimbyewo era buli candidate alina okuweebwa ekitiibwa. So we stand in solidarity with you, our comrade. Twagala okuvumirira ne sekuvumirira yenna obulumbaganyi obwakolebwa era n'okusibwa kwa omulwanyizi w'eddembe Nakinku Nicholas Opio ne balooya baffe abakola mu Human Rights Office yaffe basatu abakwatiddwa, era tugatta eddoboozi lyaffe ku maloboozi amangi agakoola okutebwa kwabwe embagirawo. Basebo ne bannyabo, muze mulaba okwatibwa n'okuwambibwa okw'abantu, mulaba nti Pandagaali yazzeemu. Mwami Museveni byagamba nti yalwanyisa abikola kati ate akubisaamu n'abo be yalwana nabo emirundi mingi. Ne Museveni twagala okutegeeza nti togenda kuwangula, togenda kuwangula. Tosobola kutuuta n'otumalawo. Amakomera tegasobola tuteekayo ne gatumalawo. Byonna byonna ogenda bikola bikuyamba kwerabisa, bikuyamba kweyanika obutiitiizi bwo, bikuyamba kulaga nsi titokyalina kyokugamba. Nze nga nkugamba era nkugamba n'olwaleero tuyina option kati aki yakuwa bannayuganda kitiibwa, ne tukuwangula mirembe, ne tukwerekera bulungi, n'ogenda n'owummula. Bw'otakola ekyo ogenda kumaliriza oli mu kasasiro wa byafaayo nga mikwano gyo ba Gaddafi, ba Mugabe, ba Bashir n'abalala bangi. Mwebale nnyo basibo ne bannyabo ku lwa Katonda n'ensi yange. All right, I don't know if there's two or so questions from the media. If there be any, we respond to those very quickly and then we shall depart. I see Mama is complaining. Is there any questions? Or sometimes we finish and leave and the media says, but you didn't give us a chance to ask questions. So the chance is there. But if there's no question, we can't. Okay, there's one there.
Okay, my name is Julius Kitona. I'm from NBS.
Yes, Julius.
Yesterday we saw President Museveni while he was in Mkono. He said that he was also, the ban also includes him. So what, how are you perceiving his submission?
Okay, he's asking how we are perceiving Museveni's submission that the ban
secondly,
includes him.
What could have EC done before starting that ban?
Come again?
EC, what could it have?
Just move to so I can hear you, my brother.
Ngamba, EC yandikoze ekinga tennawera nkuŋŋaana zino mu district 13.
Okay, is there any other? Okay, that's a simple one. Our perception of Museveni's views on the ban, like our presidential candidate has told you, these orders clearly are coming from one person, Mr. Tibuhaburwa. His son has always guided the Electoral Commission on what to do. You remember they first went and sought audience with him at State House, and he told them how they should run the election. Shortly after that meeting, they issued directives on how the election is going to happen. So even this particular situation is clearly happening on the orders of candidate Tibuhaburwa. You remember that candidate Tibuhaburwa's campaigns are ending this week. And so he clearly ordered the EC not to let us continue with the campaigns because for him, he has run out even of ideas. That's why he's looking to poach, people from us using money because the ideas are not there. That's why he's finishing campaigns 2 weeks to the end of campaigns. And so the EC got orders from him to stop the rest of us. So it's very clear. That was very pretentious of him to say, now you see, even me, I've been caught in the ban by the EC. If he was caught in the ban by the EC, what was he doing in Mukono yesterday? Because Mukono is one of those districts where campaigns were banned because apparently the COVID spread, the rate is so high. But he was there yesterday, only pretending and saying, no, I've not come to campaign today because I'm in a suit. But people are being given t-shirts and money all over the place has been happening elsewhere. So it is very pretentious of him. In as far as what maybe the EC should have done before issuing all these orders, we again are trying to understand, did the EC follow the law to the letter? Yes, they're the superintendents of the entire campaign process. But also, it's always good that we operate in consultation because we are all stakeholders in this whole process. So the same way they get orders from candidate Tibuhaburwa, let them at least seek our views on many of these different things, such that we are on the same page. Because the EC, for example, said campaigns in these districts, in these different areas, should be on radio. And you have been seeing what's been happening to our presidential candidate. He's been denied access to radio stations and all these different things. So what does the EC want us to do? It's very disturbing. Ensonga ya mwami Tibuhaburwa okugamba nti akakiiko k'ebyokulonda naye kamukwatidde mu mateeka ge kaayise kya bunnanfuusi omukulembeze waffe bw'agambye tukiddamu buzi kubanga akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kafunye ebiragiro okuva ewa mwami Tibuhaburwa. Mwami Tibuhaburwa kampeyini ze siggwa wiiki eno era kwe kuwa akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ekiragiro nti naffe bayimirize kampeyini zaffe kubanga ye talina kyagamba bannayuganda ffe tukirina ekyokugamba bannayuganda naye takirina kyobudola ba campaigns ze azimiriza nga wabulayo weekusinga 2 campaigns nga zikyagenda mu maaso. So clearly yabadde yeebuzaabuza kubanga bw'agamba nti amateeka akakiiko ke kaayisiza naye gamukwata yabadde akola ki emukono eggulu yabuzaabuziza nti asinje campaign yazize mu sooti naye nga t-shirt bazigaba ne sente. So kino kimu kya bunnanfuusi. Akakiiko k'ebyokulonda tukasaba tutambule wamu kubanga naffe tuli ba stakeholder mu kaweefube ono ow'akalulu. Bwe okufuna ebiragiro okuva ewa mwami Tibuhaburwa naffe batwebuuzengako ku nsonga zino. Wakati bagambye nti campaigns tujja zikoleranga ku radio n'ebirala emikutu emirala mu zi districts zino ze baaweze campaigns. Naye akakiiko kakimanyi tukabuulidde ensonga zino tukawandiikidde emirundi egiwerako ddala. Candidate waffe nga bamugaana okugenda ku radio. Kati akakiiko kaagala tukole ki? I think that answers that. That should be okay. Just one final question, and now the questions you have remembered. Okay, sir.
Neyanziza ane munasonyiwa eddoboozi lyange sseddungi tiyagasa lijjudde ennaku zino. Amannya Sematimba Bwegire okuva ku radio Esimba ne Getty Media. Ekibuuzo kyange kigenda eri Honorable Kyagulanyi direct. Twawuliddeko nti eggye lya UPDF liteekateeka okuziikula omulambo gwa Franka basobole okwekebejja okufuna ddala obukakafu obulaga nti oba ddala yatomerwa butomerwa. Era singa kino kinaaba kibaddewo, okusookera ddala basoose ne bagamba nti aba North oba aba People Power mwe abalemesezza okgenda okwekebejja omulambo guno. Naye kino singa kinaaba kikoleddwa kitegeeza ki eri bannansi era mukiwaako magezi ki?
Ekyange kijjawo jjo zeesesa ku bantu abawambibwa mu kaseera kano n'okusinga nga ba national platform obaolya nga ekibiina kulinako ku bantu bameka abakawambibwa era kwabo abantu waliwo ko ne mudduukiriddeko mu mbuga ez'amateeka ne balumira okuva mu buwambe era bebaba bali bameka. Then waliwo n'abagenzeko mu mbuga ez'amateeka babeerawo waliwo abalumizibwa era bali bameka okuva mu buwambe.
Bana abakulu abali awo tusaba tusiriikiriremukko tumalirize.
We have heard that from the president saying that he has always been the target. After missing the target, it has been shifted to journalists. My experience is that this is meant to instill fear among journalists. We saw one of your security officers 2 days ago, bodyguard, being run over police military car, as you are saying. It appears that your security team is that his leg has been fractured allegedly by people who are trailing him. Can you throw more light on what is happening to your security team, because it appears there is a deliberate effort to train that team?
Okay, thank you. Some of these actually our candidate has really spoken about them. It will perhaps just be repetition. But beginning with Mr. Sesanga, people who are being abducted, our candidates. Again, like we are saying, the regime is using all manner of avenues. If they try and reach out to somebody with money and the person says, no, me, I'm solidly NUP, I want change, I don't want your money, then they decide to attack that person. So a number of our colleagues, we have learned, they have been abducted. Yesterday we got news of our candidate for Youth MP Eastern, Menya Brian. You know, he was dumped somewhere in bad shape. And this morning we saw learned of another colleague of ours who has been abducted. His whereabouts are not known. So really these are the tactics used by all dictatorships. Like we have told you about Idi Amin Dada, abducted Janani Luumu, killed him and then said it was an accident. So the same script is being replayed. It's nothing new. But for us, we are resolute, like we are saying. These acts are meant to intimidate us, they're meant to cut our speed. But now we know that we must press further. That change must happen sooner for these acts to end. Because if change doesn't happen, all of us might die in that kind of situation. So we know that we must keep pushing a lot harder than ever before. My brother Jingo asks about, yes, our presidential candidate has been targeted severally. His life has been on the line. He was targeted in Arua. His driver, Sid Kauma, took the bullet for him. He has told you about these other colleagues that have been targeted. Dan Magic was hit. That hit was meant for Honorable Kyagulanyi. Ashraf Kasidi was hit. He was next to Honorable Kyagulanyi. It was meant for him. His life is on the line. But I'll reiterate what he has said severally, that this is not about him. He has said it time and again that even if Museveni kills him today, the millions of Ugandans are still around. The millions of Ugandans want change. The struggle will continue, regardless. Those have been his words severally. I'm only reiterating them. Bannaffe abazze bawambibwa owawo nga bwe tubagambye nti gavumenti yamwamitibwa habulwa ekozesa obukodyo bwa njawulo batuukirira bakandideti baffe okugezaako okubagula naye abasinga baganye n'agamba nze siri wa ssente zinjagala nkyukakyuka kati abantu b'ekika bwe batyo
abagaana batandika ate kubatunuza mu muntu kubawamba. Eggulo twafunye obubaka munnaffe Menya Brian abadde agenda okwesimbawo ku Youth MP Eastern Uganda yawambibwa era ne bamubalina gye bamusudde ng'ali mu mbeera mbi. Ne ku makya leero tufunye obubaka obulala munnaffe omu eyawambiddwa. So gavumenti zonna ez'abannakyemalira wesi bwe zikola ebintu twabulidde ng'Amini bwe yakolanga n'awamba bajjanaani luwumu n'abatta n'alimbalimba nti accident. So noono kyakola kyekimu naye ffe tugamba nti tuli banywevu era nga tuli bamalirivu okukyusa gavumenti kubanga kitulagira ddala nti gavumenti eno bwetakyuka bannayuganda bangi bagenda kufa bajja kutulumikizibwa. Mukulu Jingo ayogedde ku nsonga ya security ya candidate waffe. Candidate waffe kabaza abagamba obulamu bwe buli mukati matigga buli mukati abaga bagezaako kumutta mu Arua Esini Kauma yatwala essasi lye n'ensangi zino nga bamutagetinga ne bakuba Mudani Magic yamuli okumpi juzi bakubye Ashraf Kasirye yamuli okumpi. So obulamu bwe bwo buli matigga naye nga bwazza abagamba yakuddamu byazza abagamba ndi kino tekiri kuje nti Mwami Museveni ne bw'atta Kyagulanyi leero bannayuganda 10,000 miliyoni ne miliyoni gye bali baagala nkyukakyuka struggle ejja kweyongera ng'egenda maaso. There was a specific question to our presidential candidate, Wejire, who was asking. So the UPDF says that they'll exhume Frank's body and all of that. I don't know if you want to take it on. Thank you very much, Boijire. Chide mu Luzungu. Uganda. Ngeri. Boijire chola kyagala mu Uganda. Sematemba Boijire abuziza ti amaje gavuddeyo gamba nti twabalemesezza okujja okwekebejja omulambo gwa muganda waffe Frank. Era twebaze ne tukola effujjo ne tugenda tumuziika nga tebakoze postmortem. Kyanaku nnyo bannange okulaba nti amagye gaffe gakiikirirwa mu ngeri eswaza teswaza buswaza naye wemula. Naye era tumanyi obuzibu aboogezi b'amagye n'aboogezi ba poliisi bwe babeerako. Era ebiseera ebimu mu kifo ky'okunyiigira enanga oba omwogezi w'amagye tubasaasira busaasizi kubanga ebikolobero bino omuntu okubinyonnyola abantu tekiba kyangu. Munajjukira nti eddwaliro ly'e Lubaga lyasaliddwako amagye Franka we yafiiridde era ffe twavuddeyo nga amagye gegatuwerekera okututuusa ewaffe. Franka olunaku lw'okoseggulo ng'amaze okufa nga bamaze okumwekebejja n'omukolako mu ddwaliro n'okutuwa omulambo gwe n'okutuwa medical report n'okutuwa byonna ebifa ku nfaaye twamuleese wano. Famire ye yatukiriza kubanga bwe mmanyi bulijjo omuntu afudde mu nfa ey'akabenje tebalwawo okumuziika. Franka famire ye yatukiriza okujja okumukungubagirayo wano essaawa emu n'eddakiika entonotono era twamuleese wano ne tusimbula wano ku ssaawa 4 ez'ekiro. Ekkubo lyonna lijjudde zi road block. Ekkubo lyonna okutuuka e Masaka era okujjako emmotoka ey'omulambo yokka gye bakkiriza okuyitawo. Abalala bonna bagenze ku makya kubanga zaabadde ssaawa za kafyu. Kinajjukirwa era nga bannamawulire abasinga bwe mwakirabye nti ekkubo lyabadde lijjudde road block nga nze ng'omuntu tebaagala ngende kuziika ne bannaffe abamu. Era twasaliikiriza mu bukubu bweyo bwa mukyalufu okutuuka ng'omulambo gwayise dda ku main road ne gutuuka. So kya buswavu nnyo okuba nti amagye gavaayo ne gagamba nti ffe abantu ababadde babadduka tusobole okutuuka gye baziika ti ate ffe twabalemesezza titwabataddeko embeera ne tubasinga amaanyi nga be babadde bakudde balina emmundu be balina ziti